Hello, welcome back to another video. And this time I am doing the KiCad project. And yes, it turned out to be a project. I was just going to check out KiCad, of course. But I had in mind maybe I can do the 25469, also called the C64C, as a KiCad replica with schematic and everything. I told you in the previous video that I found at the nightly builds of a KiCad, it had also a bitmap. So I started looking at that and it was actually quite feasible. So I also said something about it going faster when it was grayscale bitmap, but that turned out to be not the case. Alright, so let's have a look at the KiCad project. Try to figure out what I have done, because it's been a week, so I should probably make a video since it's gone a week now. So let me just make a quick point about putting stuff on the grid. I was thinking maybe I would not work on this because it was hard getting stuff on the grid. Maybe the C64C doesn't have the components on the grid, and it makes it a bit difficult to figure out where things are for real. But I found out that when you look at the image like this, it's pretty good on the grid all the way, but on the edges it's sort of skews a little bit. I think what's happening is that when you put it on a scanner, the scanner starts to scan the image, and there's gears and stuff, maybe there's a backlash, and then it goes normal. So yeah, so I can just show you quickly that. Yeah, so here's the stretch image, here's not the stretch image, so I will not use so much time on it to just show you what I did. So, well, stuff here is pretty good, as I said, but then when you get over here, it starts to skew. Look, here it starts to skew. And the problem here is that the rest of the image is okay. So what I did is that I made a selection. It looks a bit ugly when it looks like this, but I did something like this, but I think it's okay up to somewhere like here. What you do is that you have to find the tool you need, so you go to Tools, Transform, Scale, while you have the selection. And now you can see you can move this stuff. This is not correct way, so if you hold down Shift, you see something changes here. So what we want now is I'm just going to go back again and do it over, because I screwed up. So holding down Shift and then move it just a little bit. I think we need to go back on the other, like this. Now this is on grid, this and this and this and this and this, and then we are pretty happy. So you can also go in here and like perfect it. So there you go. So that's it. And then everything else is on the grid. Everything. So yeah, so before I start, I've ordered components for the CIA 6526 project. I don't even remember what I was doing there, so it's so old, but I was missing 0402 components, which is really small, and my eyes are getting worse and worse. But my hand is still steady, so I have something else, which will be in the next video. Some PCBWay stuff. Yeah, so they sponsored me with these boards for this next video. And it's a, I don't know if you can see it, it's a solder thing, and this plate gets hot, and then you put components here. I hear that this one breaks down pretty fast, so, but I want to try it, so. You saw me do before. This one, I show you this each time, I'm really proud of it, actually. It's the, I have to see myself, 250-407 with their Altabaster. Anyway, you can see it's pretty much on the grid. Like here, it's something weird here, but that's okay. But everywhere else, it's on the grid, so I'm really happy about this. And look, I also had to figure out how to make curved lines. So I started with, you can actually see it here, since there's so many descriptions for every every tracer. It's because I clicked so many times just to get the curvature. If I click here, you can see this is a curvature. And but later I found out that you have something called fillets. So fillets is if you click two. Okay, let's demonstrate. So if I make a trace like this with a bend, you can click around the bend like this, and then fillet tracks, and choose the radius. Let's say, usually I just do 1, but 4 millimeter. That would make a long radius like this. So that's pretty cool. I wish there was a simpler way of doing it, but I don't think there are. So you can see it's KiCad is also very slow. If I turn off the background image, it's really fast. I can work on this really fast, but then I don't see what I'm doing. So if I just need to do some visual adjustments here without background image, then that's fine. But usually I need the image all the time. I haven't tried with the bottom side yet, so could get really slow, but then I can always turn off the top layer, right? That will hold. Another thing I noticed that when you click save, it takes ages for it to save, because it's actually putting in the text file, it's put in some sort of binary file inside the text file of the whole picture. Yeah. So yeah, so the next thing I want to show you is that drawing lines here, I have gone into the interactive router settings. Yeah, I have turned on free angle mode. That's one thing I had to do, and I also think I had to go into the preferences. So free angle, if you don't do that, you will always go 45 degrees. So that kind of works. So I will show you some of this, but let me just show you some speeded up clips from before. My God, it's full of stars. Okay, so let me show you the libraries. You can just click this footprint thing. Okay, so we have the C64C library. That is the new library. I'm making these over again because they look a little bit different. And the reason why I'm doing this is because the look of these components are very different from what the KiCad has from before. And so I want to replicate this, and that's why I'm doing this. And the nice thing about the new KiCad now is that you can draw inside the PCB editor, that is called now, and then you can copy paste into the editor. So that was something I don't think you could do before, not so easily anyway. So that's really nice. And also, if you're working with more libraries, it's easy to copy between them also. So here we have the rectifier, we have a resistor, standing resistor, so yeah, a capacitor. Anyway, so that's that, and those are coupled with the schematic. So this is what I have for the schematic right now. It's getting really close to the original, doesn't it? So here's the original. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do. The way I work is that I make sections and then I try to find out how these components are positioned to each other. Actually, you can, if you look at the image here, you can actually count. This is 50 mil, 50 mil. Everything is measured about the pin length. These are all custom also, even the transistors and the capacitors. So that's really hard, but I do some every night. And then, like before, I used about 3 weeks, I think. But this time I'm actually doing the layout at the same time. Once I put a component here, you can assign it to a footprint. And like this 40-pin thing here, and this, say this 14-pin there. And then when you go into the layout, you can import them here like this, and then update PCB. And then you get your components in here though, so you don't simply just place them. You could do that, but then they are not connected. So now this is different from the other when I worked with sprint layout, because then you don't have a schematic at all, so you have to import it with some trickery into KiCad. I think you have to go from Gerbus to PCB new. But here you get the signal names because they're connected to the schematic. So that's why you can see over here, you can see a address bus, data bus and everything. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So it's a hard work, but as I said, I just do a little bit at a time, and every night I do this kind of therapy thing. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. So yes, here we go. So the last thing I added was probably this connector here. So I can show you that. So I have the old schematics library, and the reason for that is that I want to copy in between of them. I don't edit it, I just copy in between. And this is the new one that I'm creating. So edge connector, which isn't too great either, by the way. I was thinking of drawing something like a pin list there, but the first thing I need to do is to add the old components, because this one is a bit hard to draw actually. Okay, so you go to Preference, Manage Footprint Libraries. You can find those several places. Project, not Global, Project. Here's my new footprint library, and I will add the old one just to have something to copy from. And here you have the pretty. This folder is called Pretty. So open. Okay. So let's do the create, delete, and edit footprints. I'm a bit nervous because I don't know how easy this will be. So can we see anything? Yeah, there we can see the old library. They have lots of stuff in here. Nice. It looked a bit different also, as you can see. Haha, there's the serial connector. And what we were looking for was the cassette. So where in the world? Edge connector, 12-pin tape. Right. So what are we looking at here? Front copper and bottom copper. And then, so this layer here is a mask removal. So if you draw here, it will remove the mask. I can actually show you the 3D Alt 3. There you go, as you can see. And in KiCad 5, it was not possible to add a edge cut inside a footprint. So that's why it looks like this. And that's why I just drew the outline with a drawing instead. So I can just draw the outline on top of that again. Copy. Paste. Yeah, that worked. Now I have opened it in the C64C library, EdgeCon 12 tape. Right, cool. So we just hit save. This isn't really an easy task. You see, it's not on the grid either. We want to connect it with the schematic. So what we do then is that we go to Run Footprint Assignment Tool. C and 3 is cassette, C and 4 is serial bus, so it's a cassette then. Then you have to find your stuff, and for some reason it's at the bottom. I don't know why projects are at the bottom, and then you double click your footprint. Save, go to your schematic. Now we're going to import or update the PCB with changes made in the schematic. And you have to have the correct settings here. Update, because you don't want to delete stuff. And then it should show up like this, yes. Oh, we got something else as well. We have some some capacitors. And we will deal with those later. So let's fetch our part. And I think I will turn off mask because it's hard to see anything with that on. There you go. Now, let's get it in there. Actually, now I think, okay, so on the grid it actually seemed to be quite nice already. But I think I will hold Control and then go in and try and perfect it like this. This is a bit funny because now this footprint looks a little bit different actually. So you can see it. This is from the old one. You can see it sort of stops there. I think it's kind of bigger or something. We have a thick line further down here, so we can go in and change that, and I think I will do it another time. There we have our first edge connector. Let's see what that looks out if we print it in 3D. And look at that. That's how easy it is actually, folks. Look at that. That's your edge connector. You can plug your cassette in there. So now you will also notice that it has this really large board. It is supposed to be half of that. It's really easy to fix though. You just need to move this line here up like this. Figure out how much do we need. 43.5 minus 43.5. Okay, boink, straight into there. Then you just move this onto so it snaps. It's really easy, it's like that. So you can see I have some stuff I need to remove around here. There it snaps. That's that. And let's try that again. Look. Now it looks a lot better, and I need to figure out why my outline now is not correct anymore. So something happened to it. It's now broken, and I think it might be because these ones are screwing up, probably. So let me just do that. Some old stuff we need to get out of here. Let me turn off the background because it's so slow. There you go. Yeah, now I think it's fine. Let's try that again. Look, there it goes. So if you screw up the, if you have some outline that is going screwy, it doesn't know how to paint it. So, yep. So pay attention to that. So that looks great. I really like it. Now it's starting to look like a 250/469. Really happy. So yeah, and on the bottom side there's like nothing. Oh, it's isometric, but yeah, there's nothing here yet. So just holes no traces. Yeah, so I hope you liked that, and thank you very much for watching. And I hope to see you again soon. I will try not to be more than a week, because then I start to forget things, and it's also closer to Christmas. I really it would be sorry, it would be really fun if we could finish this up before Christmas. I'm not sure. You can see the progress is a bit slow, so this is a week of work. And now I have very much stuff going for me here, so that's a good thing. So it might be actually faster. So yeah, but there's a lot of traces left though, so yeah. But this board is cost reduced, so it's a bit easier as well, so I think it'll be fine. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. See you another time. Bye bye.